Hello, my name is Razan Syifa Fikry. I'm from class 17 5A29 and my name is 172, 308 and 62. So today I'm gonna talk about hardwares, but I'm mainly going to talk about hardwares that are commonly found uh, in a person's personal computer. And I will also be talking about operating system that is most commonly used. Now, for hardware. What is a hardware? Hardware is a computer component that you can physically touch and see with your own eyes. For example, a RAM. Uh, this is a RAM, a computer. Nah, now, next, I'm going to show you what is inside personal computers. So first there's a CPU or a central processing unit. There's a GPU, the graphical processing unit. There's a motherboard. There's a random access memory or RAM that I just showed you. There's a storage. There's a power supply, and then there's a computer case. Now the first one, a CPU. A CPU is a chip that controls most things in your PC. It's kind of like your brain, you know. And then there's also the GPU. The GPU chip or card is what controls your graphical settings. So, for example, what showed it outputs images to your monitor. And then next, there's also a motherboard. So there's three types of motherboard. There's ITX motherboard, MATX motherboard, and an ATX motherboard. The difference between them is just size and a few features here and there. And then there's RAM, random access memory. So there's two types of RAM. There's the UDIMM that's commonly found in your personal computer, and then there's also a SODIMM that's commonly used in a laptop. And then next, it's a storage. It's the storage. There's a hard drive, HDD, a solid state drive, or an SSD, and a non-volatile memory express SSD, or an NVMe. The difference between them is the speed. The hard drive is usually around 10 times slower than a solid state drive, and an SSD is around twice to 30 times as slow as a non-volatile memory express or an NVMe, depending on the generation. And then next, there's a power supply unit or a PSU. There's three types of PSU. There's a non-module PSU where the cable is already attached to your PSU and you cannot do anything about it. So cable management will be a nightmare. There's a semi-modular PSU where the cable that are connected are only the ones that you will always be using, like the 24 pin, the CPU pin, and the PCIe. And then there's a modular PSU where every cable you can customize from everything, so it's really easy to cable manage. And then next, there's a computer case. Like the motherboard, there's an ITX case, MATX case, and an ATX case. The difference between them is just the size also. So there's a small one, a medium one, and a big one. And then the next one, operating system. There's three operating systems: first is Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. That's the most commonly used in a PC. Now for Windows, Windows was made by Microsoft, and the first ever Windows was made in 1985. It's called the Windows 1.0. But now there's two main Windows that people commonly use: Windows 10 and Windows 11. Even though the Windows 10 is not fully supported by Microsoft anymore, it's just a couple of weeks ago it ended the life support of Windows 10. And then there's Linux. So Linux is an open source operating system. There's three types of I'll show you three types of Linux. There's Mint Linux, Ubuntu Linux, and Arch Linux. For Mint was made by a French developer named Clement Lefebvre. Started the project in 2006. And then there's Ubuntu. Ubuntu is made by a South African entrepreneur named Mark Shuttleworth and his company in 2004. And the last one is Arch Linux, the hardest to use and install. It was made by a Canadian programmer by the name of Jude Venet. Started the project in 2001 and made the first model in 2002. That's it for Linux. Now next we go to macOS. So macOS is made by Apple in 2001, the first one, and now it's commonly used in Apple products such as iMac, Macs, and MacBooks. So yeah, it's pretty much like an Apple only operating system. That's it. There's nothing more. Thank you so much for watching, and peace out.